Hello everybody and happy Thanksgiving week. We also hope that y'all have a great week full of good food, time with family and friends, and that it continues through the rest of this holiday season. I'm John Gilbert with Security First Asset Management with the weekly market update. Now this is for last week's markets, right? And so that is last Monday, November 18th through last Friday, November 22nd. Now, before we start talking about the markets and get into that recap, want to announce a few different things that we have coming up, right? So as always, we have our referral drawing. So the fourth quarter referral drawing is going to be coming up here soon, so be on the lookout for that. Then as well, we wanted to go ahead and announce our client appreciation event for next year, right? So that will be February 1st, 2025. That will be a masquerade ball. So we want all of y'all to save the date for that event. Now we're gonna have some more details coming out later on as far as invitations and RSVPs and whatnot, but right now, save that date, February 1st of 2025. All right, so moving on into markets. So last week, the major domestic equity indexes all moved higher. So they were recovering some of the previous week's losses. So the gains for the week were relatively broad-based, with smaller cap indexes outperforming the large caps and the equal weighted version of the S&P 500 outpacing its more familiar capitalization weighted counterpart. So last week, the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished the week up 2%, the S&P 500 finished up 1.7%, and the NASDAQ Composite finished up 1.7%. So all of those are doing good year to date. Those gains last week were largely driven by some favorable reports as far as labor market strength and 2024 home sales, and then there were also some positive earnings reports that seem to have contributed to those market gains. Finding flaws in this year's market performance is no easy task, right? So year to date, as of the end of last week, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 17.5%, the S&P 500 up 25.1%, the NASDAQ up 26.6% year to date. So markets have been good, and they have had good strength, strong returns with relatively low volatility. So last week's gains added nearly 25% to the rally in the S&P 500, keeping stocks on track for a solid finish to the year. So there's some real positive momentum heading into 2025 that's underpinned by a resilient consumer, rising corporate profits, and a start to the rate cutting cycle that we've already started experiencing. Those things will likely persist into the quarters ahead, and those are some of the reasons that that economists are positive about markets going into next year. Some other good news for all of us preparing for Thanksgiving is that this year's Thanksgiving dinner will see a dip in grocery bills for the second year in a row, right? So every year, the American Farm Bureau Federation, they do a Thanksgiving dinner survey. So they've been doing this since 1986. So they have they have volunteer shoppers from all 50 states and Puerto Rico visit their local grocery stores and survey the prices of items used in a classic Thanksgiving feast, right? So we're talking things like turkey, stuffing, sweet potatoes, dinner rolls, frozen peas, cranberries, celery, carrots, pumpkin pie, mix and crusts, whipping cream, whole milk, right? So there's all sorts of items that are part of a classic Thanksgiving feast that they are surveying the prices. So those prices from last year are down 5% from what the prices were in 2023. Now, having said this, the prices are still up 19% from what they were 5 years ago before COVID. I guess some good news is that basically the cost of all of those classic Thanksgiving items that I mentioned are down. The only 4 items that have seen an increase in prices this year is stuffing, dinner rolls, cranberry sauce, and whipping cream. So if you have to buy any one of those things, that's tough for you. Me and my wife are buying some dinner rolls for Thanksgiving feast. So we'll be paying a little bit more, but for everyone else in general, it's good news that those prices are down. And then some other good news is that in the entire United States, on a regional basis, the cost to buy those items in the South is the cheapest that it is in the nation, right? So those classic Thanksgiving items are cheapest in the South, then the Northeast, then the Midwest, and then those Thanksgiving items cost is significantly more in the West. So that's good news for us in the South. We're always grateful for that. That is all for the weekly market update. We thank you all for tuning in, and we hope that y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving and a wonderful holiday season. Thank you so much.